State House bell, I summon you from the members of the Second Continental Congress to assemble here in the Pennsylvania State House on this day, early July, 1776, to debate the issue of our independence from England.
Continental Congress is now in session. The chair recognizes Mr. Lee of Virginia.
Mr. Hancock.
Mr. Lee.
I have a resolution to lay before this body. A resolution which reflects deeply upon the question of what terms we should consider in any further negotiations with the enemy. According to the instructions of my constituents in Virginia, I am asked to propose this resolution before Congress. Resolved, that these united colonies are and of right ought to be free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Mr. Adams.
I wholeheartedly second this resolution.
So noted, Mr. Adams.
Independence? Complete independence?
It's fantastic. Do you even think seriously of considering it?
Gentlemen, the resolution has been moved and seconded. The floor is now open for debate and comments on this resolution for independence.
Praise be to heaven! Now our people really have something to fight for.
Only an extremist could put forth such ideas.
Sir, this struggle was not intended to degenerate into total war and anarchy.
Yes, what kind of extremist proposal is this? We are supposed to be in a limited war to secure specific rights for these colonies.
Let us not forget the true issues, gentlemen.
Have we forgotten that these colonies were driven to take up arms?
Gentlemen, please, one at a time. The chair recognizes Mr. Samuel Adams of Massachusetts.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As it now stands, gentlemen, many of our soldiers wonder what they are really suffering and dying for. This Declaration of Independence will give our people new hope. It will give us something really worth living for, and indeed be worth dying for.
Our intent has never been to destroy or throw over that government, but to reform it and safeguard ourselves under its protection. Complete independence? Why, that would be like a child being thrust out of his father's house.
As much as Great Britain is our sworn enemy, we must not offend her too much.
Is this the talk of appeasement?
Why, think what would happen if we were to carry this resistance too far.
First, make a new peace proposal to the British, a better, more humbler attempt.
While the very roots of our society are firmly implanted upon English soil, our customs, our traditions, complete independence, it's simply unthinkable.
He said any right. Is that what you mean?
Gentlemen, is it not far better to live under the Red Bulls and to risk total devastation of these colonies in unlimited warfare?
Mr. Chair,
The chair recognizes Mr. George Ross, Pennsylvania.
the British and their sympathizers here in our land charge that this Congress is only a minority representation. Aye, and in a sense that is true. For by our own estimation, 1/3 of the inhabitants of this country are still loyal to the King of England. Another third are indifferent to freedom struggle altogether. That only leaves about 1/3 who are dedicated patriots. Many of these patriots are now under arms on the field of battle. What of them? It is they who are willing to make a reality of the rights we argue for, make them real by writing their sentiments often enough in pools of their own blood. We owe them something more for their lives than a negotiated stalemate.
But gentlemen, I maintain that if we adopt this declaration, the British will lay waste to all our towns from sheer vengeance.
Sir, I wish your sentiments for independence were as strong as your snuff.
Gentlemen, the acts of the Crown are unquestionably wrong and should be resisted to the hilt. Nonetheless, we simply must continue our attempts to negotiate for a peaceful settlement to this conflict. This Declaration of Independence is going too far. Far too far.
Yes, I agree. Peace, sweet, reasonable peace has never been our dearest object.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Adams.
our towns are built of wood and brick. If they are burned down, we can rebuild them. But if we ever allow our liberty to be lost, it will be gone forever.
Gentlemen, Dr. Franklin has something to say. The chair recognizes Dr. Benjamin Franklin.
Is there indeed any wisdom in going further in our negotiations for peace with our enemy? There is a little French fable that reveals the truth of this matter far better than any of my words. It seems that one fine day, a farmer assembles the tenants of his barnyard and with sweet solemnity says, "Dear animals, I have assembled you here to advise me with what sauce I shall cook you." "Cluck, cluck, cluck," exclaims an insurrectionary chicken. "We don't want to be eaten at all." To which the urbane chairman replies, "My child, you wander from the point."
Well, gentlemen, it seems that the debate on independence could go on forever. Therefore, I will appoint a committee of 5 to draft a declaration and submit it to this Congress for approval. Mr. John Adams of Massachusetts, Mr. Roger Sherman of Connecticut, Mr. Robert Livingston of New York, Dr. Franklin of Pennsylvania, and Mr. Thomas Jefferson of Virginia. This Congress will stand adjourned until recalled by word of Secretary Thomas.
Consider carefully, gentlemen, very carefully, for this Declaration of Independence burns all bridges. It takes us across the deadline.
Exactly. None of us can ever return on the old road, except with a rope around our neck.
We have allowed ourselves to consider, as we know, if this declaration is adopted, it will be considered the ultimate act of high treason against the crown.
The fate of all wives and children will be equally at stake.
Gentlemen, Mr. Jefferson's completed draft of the Declaration of Independence is before you. We must now commence the vote. Mr. Thompson, you will call the roll and record the votes.
If Delaware says yes, we will go along.
Only if New York agrees will we consent. Well, if the majority seems to think it wise, we will concur also.
Say no. Defer it. There will be a better time.
The idea is good, but the time may be premature.
I say we must have more time to consider so serious a change. More attempts at negotiation.
Order, gentlemen. The chair recognizes Mr. John Adams.
Think or swim. Live or die. Survive or perish. I give my hand and my heart to this vote. It is true, indeed, that in the beginning we aimed not at independence, that there is a divinity which shapes our ends, why should we defer this declaration? Is any man so weak as now to hope for a reconciliation with England? You and I indeed may rue it. We may not live to the time when this declaration shall be made good. We may die powerless, die slave. Be it so. If it be the pleasure of heaven that my country shall require the poor offering of my life, this victim shall be ready. But while I do live, let me have a country, and in that a free country. Whatever may be our fate, be assured that this declaration will stand. It may cost treasure, and it may cost blood, but it will stand. Through the thick gloom of the present, I see the brightness of the future as the sun in heaven. We shall make this a glorious and immortal day. When we are in our graves, our children will honor it. They will celebrate it with thanksgiving, with festivities, with bonfires and illuminations. On its annual return, they will shed tears, not of subjection and slavery, not of agony and distress, but of gratitude and joy. Sirs, before God, I believe the hour has come. My judgment approves this measure, and my whole heart is in it. All that I have, all that I am, and all that I hope in this life, I am now here, ready to stake upon. And I leave off as I began, that live or die, survive or perish, I am for this declaration. It is my living sentiment, and by the blessing of God it shall be my dying sentiment. Independence now. Independence forever.
Thank you for your sentiments, Mr. Adams. Your words are timely and well chosen. Gentlemen, the time has come to avow our belief in the future of this country and cast our votes on this declaration. Be advised that we must be unanimous. We must hang together on this issue.
Or most assuredly, we will all hang separately.
Mr. Thompson, proceed with the roll call, if you please.
New Hampshire,
New Hampshire, vote aye.
Massachusetts,
Massachusetts, vote aye.
Rhode Island,
Rhode Island, vote aye.
Connecticut,
Connecticut, votes aye.
New York,
New York,
abstains. New Jersey,
New Jersey says aye.
Pennsylvania,
I still strongly disagree.
Pennsylvania,
Pennsylvania votes aye.
Delaware,
Delaware votes aye.
Virginia,
Virginia proudly says aye.
Maryland,
Maryland, votes aye.
North Carolina,
aye.
Georgia.
Georgia votes aye.
The roll call is completed. The final vote is unanimous. 12 ayes, 1 abstention.
Gentlemen, the Declaration of Independence has been accepted without a single dissenting vote. And by this action, we have pledged for its support our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
A mighty revolution has been gloriously completed in this land, so that millions yet to be born may live in freedom.
I wonder if future generations will remember what this declaration has cost this generation in treasure, sacrifice, love.
If I ever thought for a moment that they would forget, I would rue to my dying day ever having played a part in this work.
Today, a new constellation glows brightly in the heavens. A new nation has been born. We will, with God's help, continue to cherish, preserve, and indeed protect it with our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
I wonder if future generations will do the same. I wonder if they will be able to keep this new nation. I wonder if